Hey guys, welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Michelle Valley and I make videos on makeup and fashion, and today just happens to be a makeup one. Today we're going to be talking about the Natasha Denona Glam Face palettes. Guys, these have been sitting on my vanity for the past week. I mean, I practice self-restraint because I have not swatched it at all. I have both the light and the dark palettes that we're going to be diving into today. But as I'm kind of like playing and testing it on, I'm going to be also sharing the top lessons that I learned in my career in my 20s. So if you guys are in a career shift, maybe you're trying to find more meaning in your life, maybe you're trying to make more money, or you're trying to land that perfect dream job, I'm gonna just tell you all the things that I learned career-wise. So the concept behind this palette is that it's supposed to be a do-it-all, all-in-one, get glam with this one single palette. You've got your cheek shades, you've got your highlighter shades, and you've got your eyeshadow shades. So these palettes come in a deep shade and a light shade, and basically it's gonna give you a blush, some eyeshadow, and some highlight. It does not come with a bronzer. First of all, let's just talk about the carton. Look at this carton. It is freaking beautiful. Get it, kill 'em. So yummy. Do you guys like my hair? It is so long. This is fake hair. I got it from my beauty supply. It was like $20, and I kind of feel amazing. And honestly, I think this is my favorite extension I've ever had in my entire life. But anyways, moving on. So let's just look at the packaging for 1 second. This is the type of packaging that is gonna get fingerprints on it. If you don't care, then that's fine. For me, I don't really care. And to be honest, this type of packaging doesn't really speak to me that much. I like kind of a little bit more mask and like mod and like, what is the word that I'm trying to say? Like high design, if that makes any sense. This isn't necessarily high design. This is just like makeup packaging. No offense, this is not my cup of tea. And I believe this is never seen before packaging. This is packaging that was created just for these palettes. So if you are a collector, you might want this packaging. You might love it. So let's take a look at what's actually inside, because what's inside is what counts. Ooh, okay. This is cute. I think that if you have fair skin, you're probably okay to use either of them. If you have deep skin, I'm not sure if some of the shades would show up. So keep that in mind. But let's take a look at the shades on the dark first. You've got your blush, then you have the highlighter, then at the bottom you have all your shadows. And this is laid out in a very step-by-step, easy to follow. So if you are a beginner, I feel like this palette would be really good for you. If you are more advanced, you could potentially use these colors, you know, however you want. Let's take a crack at this. So I'm just gonna start to swatch. Ooh, I'm excited. The blush is very confusing. Is it a cream or is it a powder? I actually don't know if this is a cream or a powder. I think it's a cream. That is a crazy formula. I don't think I've ever swatched a blush that way. It's somewhere between a cream and a powder, so I'm not 100% sure. So let's swatch the highlighter. That is stunning. That is extremely gorgeous. Then you have your outer corner, which is kind of like this holographic purple brown type of a shade. This is also very unique. I don't have anything in my collection that looks like that. Then you have a beautiful warm chocolate brown transition. I see this being very similar to Cocoa Bear. If you guys are familiar with Makeup Geek's single eyeshadow called Cocoa Bear, that's gorgeous. We've got the smoke, which would obviously be used along the lash line. Inner corner, which is a more taupey metallic, and then the crease, which is a cool mahogany brown. So we got some really good colors in here. I am actually really liking this. I would be surprised if I liked the light one better than the dark, but I'm gonna try them on each side of my face. Okay, so this is a beautiful rosy terracotta blush shade. I'm already loving the swatch of this. Then we have the Star Glow highlighting. Oh my God, I had to stop mid-sentence because that is insane. If you like a natural glow, you're gonna have to go light-handed with that. It kind of looks glass-like, almost like if you were to look at someone straight on with the highlight, you wouldn't see it, but if they turn and it kind of catches the light, then you would see it, if that makes any sense. That is gorgeous. It is kind of a neutral tone, so it's not leaning warm or cool. So if you are more cool tone, I think this could be good for you. If you are more warm, I also think this could be good for you. We have the inner corner, which is again a more neutral rosy metallic shade. Then we've got a transition, which is a pinky peach. We got a crease shade, which is a little bit more taupey brown. Outer corner, which is a true rose gold, and then a smoke shadow, which is a rosy deeper brown. So this light palette is leaning a little bit more rosy, and this dark palette is leaning a bit more terracotta copper. So let's try it on the face. And let me get out my little book where I've written down all the lessons that I've learned in my 20s as it relates to my career. So let's get into this. I'm excited. Oh, and by the way, before we continue, let me just say they give you a generous ass mirror. $60 a pop, they better be giving you a mirror, but this is a generous mirror. So let me just peel this off. Oh, I should get into ASMR because that was satisfying. Let me prime my face with some moisturizer. Okay, this is a perfect time to start and just talk about the things that I have learned in my career. So first lesson that I've learned is a bit controversial because a lot of people might have very different takes on this. But the first lesson that I learned is by moving companies, I gave myself a raise every single time. So if you guys are looking to make more money, that's one way that I just leveled up and leveled up and leveled up. So one of the first jobs that I had was for a makeup company. And at that point I was earning $14 an hour. And one day I came to the boss and I said, hey, I got an offer for $40,000 a year. Can you match it? Even though I was bluffing, she said no, but even though I was bluffing, that pushed me to find something else. And then after that, I started working at a hotel chain and I was doing their graphic design and I was earning $45 an hour. So that's definitely a jump. That's not gonna happen to everyone. That just happened to me with that massive jump. It has always been an upward trend. So, you know, the job after that or the contract after that, I believe I went back to 25 and then back up to 50 and then to 100, 120, like that. And it kind of has been up and down from contract to contract, but overall it has definitely been an upward trend. So one of the best things that I have been doing for myself is when my learning caps at a company, or if I see that there is nowhere to grow, it's time to move on. And I have had a lot of different contracts. I've had a lot of different positions. And every time I move into a new job, take on a new role, take on a new contract, I have given myself a raise without a doubt. So just for some context, I started off as a graphic designer, hated it, and then moved into marketing, which I love now. And doing that whole like jumping around definitely has helped me earn more and more money over time. This was definitely a hard thing to do because my parents were telling me, they're like, sweetie, you need to stick it out in a role. And I was like, no, why? When I'm getting other offers that are better and getting more money, why would I stay somewhere that can't offer me better, you know? So I think that might be a little bit of an old school mentality. Everyone these days are doing contracts. So for me, moving around has been pivotal in making more and more and more money. I'm just gonna apply some foundation for a base. My goal was to reach 6 figures by the age of 30. I'm 27 and I have already reached that goal. So for me, that has been a key reason, just the whole moving around, taking different contracts, leveling up. That has been a key reason as to why I have been able to give myself a raise every time I move. And if you think about it, that makes sense because I came into that makeup company as a junior. I was coming straight out of school, you know, and they hire you in that capacity. Sometimes it's very hard to see someone as anything other than a junior. So if you're looking to level up quickly, you come in somewhere as a junior and then you move and present yourself somewhere else as a more senior position. Okay, I'm so excited for the blush. This is like my most exciting favorite part. So I'm actually gonna scooch in a little bit closer so you guys can see. It is frickin' glowy and stunning. And I really like that color. Holy crap, that is frickin' beautiful. That makes me feel like I don't even want highlighter, you know what I mean? This is just everything. What? Now let's try the highlight. I'm gonna go in with a light hand because this looks intense. Yeah, it is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Imagine if I sprayed it and wet it. Let's just spray it for fun just to see. But okay, remember how I was talking about at the beginning how like if you look at someone head on, you can't really see it, but then they go bam and it's like, pfft, that's what's happening right now. I would probably normally never, ever wear it this intense, but just for you guys to see. Hello, I'm Bond, James Bondette. That's wild. Oh my God, I honestly think this is my favorite highlighter I've ever used in my entire life. And I've tried a lot of highlighters. Let me prime my lids so that we're giving this a fair shot. The second lesson that I learned is that I made the most money by piecing together different sources of income rather than just relying on one 9-to-5 job, if that makes any sense. So for example, last year I was doing marketing work for Shopify and I was doing marketing work for the government. I had 2 separate contracts. If I asked either of them individually for the take home that I was getting all together, I don't think either of them would be down to pay me that. You know what I'm saying? So instead, I gave half my time to the government, half the time my time to Shopify, and just made a lot more that way. And then had other streams of income on the side with just like smaller side hustles, consulting work, that kind of a thing. So that's what it's looking like so far. It picked up a lot more on the inner corner, which I don't love. I do feel like it needs to buff a little bit more. It could potentially be because of my primer, but I'm not really loving, like things are getting a lot, like very patchy right here. I don't know, it's very weird. Now we're gonna dip into the transition shade. That is freaking nice. Now we're gonna do a crease. Outside of just the money, piecing different sources of income also made my day a lot more exciting. So I'm really loving this because I feel like I'm actually quite horrible at eyeshadow, and this is just making everything a lot easier. Another thing that I want to mention is like some people might feel like it's not secure because at any point your contracts could fall through. And while that is true, you know, a 9-to-5 can be more secure. It actually brought me a lot of security to have and piece different jobs together, because if one fell through, I would always have the other. And even more so, if I got a raise or if I negotiated my contract up with one guy, I would tell the other guy, I'd say, hey, listen, they're paying me this much. I think I'm just gonna go do full-time work for them. And then be like, no. Actually, we'll pay you, we'll match it. So I learned that having options would always give me leverage in negotiation. Okay, yay, this is looking so good. I'm gonna put in an inner corner highlight. You know? Boom, shakalaka. But I gotta say, this highlight is stealing the show. I thought that I would not like it because I thought it would be too like 2016 highlighter stripe, you know, but this is actually quite natural. I'm gonna have to test this in my car mirror. I feel like that's always the definitive test. Moving on to the outer corner. Okay, that is glam as shit. This is definitely not the type of look that I would normally wear, but one can appreciate. I can appreciate this. All right. So that is the light palette for you guys. This is what the light palette looks like. Let's dip into this gorgeous blush shade. I'm going light-handed because I did pick up a lot of product. I just want to naturally build it up. Like this is what the light blush looks like. It's kind of like a tea rose, and this is just a bit more rusty. It's kind of giving me like a very serious vibe, and this is giving me like a more fun and flirty. All right, so let's try this Star Glow. I don't think it needs to be wet because I think it's just gonna be too much. So this is what the Star Glow looks like. That is gorgeous. That is a true champagne gold. This would be like what champagne pop would look like if it were gold. I am not one to like lust over highlighters. I feel like I'm just kind of like over it. This is the first time that I've really felt like wowed by a highlighter. I don't know, guys, what are you liking better? Light or dark? The next career lesson that I learned in my 20s is this. This is a huge one for me. Oh, whoops, let me prime my eyelids. I'm gonna use a different primer this time because I feel like it might have messed up this side. So let me just see what I got. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's very difficult in the beginning to control yourself. If you're really excited for a job, you wanna put your best foot forward, you wanna work overtime, you wanna do the most, and yeah, that's great, but you have to be aware that if you're doing that in the beginning, or at least this is what I learned, is that when I was doing that in the beginning, that would be like the precedent that I would set. That would be the expectation for the rest of my time working there, and that's not always sustainable. Setting a precedent in the beginning of what is acceptable behavior, what are your boundaries, that's super important. Set those boundaries from day one, and that is going to take you a lot further than if you overexert yourself in the beginning and then kind of just like underachieve after comparatively. So that's what I've learned from my 20s. Oh, this is a lot more cool toned. But I do think that it was my concealer that was kind of messing things up on the other eye because this is blending out beautifully. So the next lesson that I learned is just because you are handing in a resume does not mean that they're gonna see it. So how do you get yourself to the top of the list? So this is the formula that is literally foolproof. I landed my dream job with this formula. What you gotta do is you first gotta go on LinkedIn and see who is hiring. Type in your favorite companies. Type in the keywords of the kind of jobs that you want. Then you're going to apply to all those jobs. And if you're having trouble finding the right job postings. LinkedIn has a beautiful feature called like similar. So you'll get similar job postings or similar companies. So you can go down a rabbit hole of like clicking through similar. I'm gonna try to do like a little tutorial of this just like on the screen so that you guys can see. So once you've applied to all those jobs, the next thing that I learned to do is add a tool called 𝓉𝒾𝓂𝓅𝓈. And this is the most amazing tool. I don't know why more people don't use it. What it does is you can type in any URL in the world and it is gonna give you the names, the emails, and the positions of the decision makers there. So let's say you're applying for a marketing manager position, then you're gonna look up, let's say it's Natasha Denona. You're gonna type in 𝓉𝒾𝓂𝓅𝓈.com, then it's gonna give you the list. You're gonna find the director of marketing, then you're gonna reach out and this is what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, hey, name, my name is Michelle. I recently applied to the X position, and you're gonna hyperlink that position so that they can know exactly what you're talking about. But I also wanted to reach out here and introduce myself. And then you're gonna speak directly, make sure that it's true, otherwise you're gonna catfish yourself, but you're gonna speak directly to the job posting. I know you're looking for someone who can come up with really cool concepts for your marketing campaigns. I have experience in this because I've worked with Microsoft, Twitter, and Google. And then you're gonna do a call to action. So you're gonna be like, not sure what your schedule is like this week, but I would love to hop on a call and see what, and hear more about what you're looking for this role. You're not gonna say, I wanna hop on the call and tell you about myself and tell you about myself. You wanna hear what they want. What is your availability like, question mark. Always end that email with the question mark so that they are more inclined to respond. You're gonna get ghosted. You are gonna get no responses. That's normal. You can apply to say 100 jobs without doing this and you'll get 2 responses, or you can do this and take that extra step and get maybe 10 responses. Like, it is really good. So that's what I've done. Sorry, let's move on to the crease, right? So crease, oh, that warms everything up so beautifully. This crease color is what this look needed. Okay, I'm gonna pop it on here as well just to warm everything up. I almost just want to leave this matte because it is so beautiful, but I know you guys want to see these shades. So this is the inner corner shade. I am not really impressed with these shimmery shades because it almost feels like loose glitter and it's giving me like little kid vibe, you know? Guys, the light has changed so much since we started filming. Hopefully you guys really are getting the full experience. Okay, and now outer corner. This outer corner shade looks friggin' beautiful. Okay, that's a bit... I do feel like this deeper side is it's a more of a mature vibe. So that's it. This is what the palette is looking like. Let me move the light so that you guys can see this evenly. Okay, so my overall impressions of this palette is, if I were to choose, I think I would actually go with, I don't know. Oh my God, okay. I like the tones and the kind of like the hues of the dark palette because it's more warm and smoky. But I like the subtlety of the light palette. I'm not a very dramatic makeup kind of a girl, so this would be pushing it for me. But I think the light palette takes the cake for me. I love the color payoff. I love the textures. I love the color story and the choices that she made with these colors. Like to include, like I think this is a very cohesive, gorgeous palette. I think the one thing that I didn't like was the inner corner and outer corner shades on the light palette. It is very like glitter glue vibes. So if you are a glam person or if you're a natural makeup kind of a person, I think that you can definitely bend this to make this exactly what you want. I think this is stunning. This is making me look like I have just fallen from the clouds. I am an angel with this highlight and this blush. Honestly, I would buy this entire palette just for the blush and the highlight. Like if that's what it came with and it was $59, sign me up, baby. Woo. I love it. I love it. I love it. So hopefully this review has been helpful for you guys. If you guys are in a pivotal moment in your career, you're making some choices, you're thinking about what you want to do, hopefully my experiences have helped you. And if you want to see another video just like this, I got more career advice. If you want to see that weaved into another review video, let me know what kind of career advice you want to hear and what product you want to see reviewed next. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next week and I'm gonna go feel glam now. Bye.